Have you ever wondered if doing the right thing matters, especially when no one's looking? This is a story about a shop full of clocks, a stormy night, and a choice that changed an entire town. I was 19 when I started sweeping floors at Reed's Timepieces, a narrow shop tucked between a tailor and a bakery. The air always smelled like oil and cedar. Hundreds of clocks lined the walls, cuckoos, carriage clocks, grandfathers all ticking in a patient chorus that felt like the heartbeat of our street. Mr. Reed was the owner, gray-haired, soft-spoken, with hands steady enough to thread a hair through a needle. He didn't say much, but when he did, it stayed with you. He used to tell me, "Clocks don't care about applause. They do what's right by being on time." I thought it was his way of making repairs sound noble. Business was slow. People liked their phones more than winding keys. The rent notice sat on the counter like a bad cough. I tried to be helpful. Maybe we should do a big sale?
Or add smartwatches. Mr. Reed just smiled.
Let's keep good time first. One afternoon, the bell above the door chimed, and a man walked in carrying a velvet pouch. One afternoon, the bell above the door chimed, and a man walked in carrying a velvet pouch. He looked around like the clocks were staring at him. "Got something special," he said, pulling out an antique pocket watch, engravings curling around the edges, a tiny star etched on the crown. My heart did a somersault. That watch was worth a month's rent. Maybe more. "Need cash fast," the man said. "I'll let it go cheap." Mr. Reed examined it under the lamp. He checked the hinges, the balance wheel, the face. Then he looked closer at the back and traced something with his thumb. An inscription. "For M, who keeps perfect time. Where did you get this?" Mr. Reed asked gently. "It was my grandfather's," the man said, too quickly. Mr. Reed nodded, closed the watch, and slid it back across the counter. "It's beautiful." "I can't buy it." The man blinked. "You just said it's beautiful." "It's also engraved," Mr. Reed said. "People who sell engraved watches usually bring a story to go with it." "Yours doesn't fit." The man's jaw tightened. "Your loss." He snatched the pouch and left, the bell above the door jangling like a nervous laugh. I was furious. "We could have sold it. We need the money." Mr. Reed looked at me the way you look at a clock that's running fast. "We don't buy trouble," he said. "And we don't make it bigger." That evening the sky cracked open. Rain crashed against the windows. The lights flickered once, twice, and died. Silence except for the steady ticking all around us. In that moment, I learned what courage sounds like. It sounds like hundreds of clocks refusing to panic. We lit an oil lamp. Across the street, the bakery went dark. Farther down, sirens wailed, then cut out. Phones didn't help. The signal vanished. The town felt like a ship adrift, all our glowing screens gone dull. Then the knock came hard, hurried. The mayor, drenched, shouted from the doorway. "The tower clock stopped. Power's out. First responders are coordinating by time. We need that clock." The tower clock. The old iron giant in the square. Mr. Reed climbed those stairs every Sunday to oil its gears, even when no one asked him to. He called it an old friend who hates surprises. We grabbed our toolboxes and ran into the rain. The square was a smudge of shadows and umbrellas. We climbed the spiral staircase, the metal steps cold and slick. At the top, the mechanism sat like a sleeping animal, great wheels and levers, still as stone. "Windlass slipped," Mr. Reed muttered. "Gust must have jolted it." He put a wrench in my hand. "Hold tension." Slow and steady. We worked by lamplight and instinct. My fingers shook, but his didn't. Outside, people waited. Faces turned up toward a dark clock face that had always told them when to work, when to rest, when to meet, when to say, "You're late," or "You're right on time," and then one click. A tremor. The great pendulum shivered and began to swing. Left. Right. Left. Right. The second hand crept forward. The minute hand followed, patient but certain. The clock found its voice again. The first chime rolled out like thunder with manners. 1, 2, 3. It echoed down alleys and over rooftops. In the square, someone cheered. We heard voices calling times to each other. 1:15. Top of the hour. Meet at the church at the next chime. The clock kept time. The town kept pace. Volunteers organized food. Neighbors checked on elders. Firefighters rotated shifts by the quarter hour when their radios sputtered. The night felt less like a storm and more like a challenge we could meet, one steady beat at a time. By morning, the rain had softened. Power limped back. The bell over our shop chimed. A man with kind eyes stepped in, holding a velvet pouch. He opened it and placed the same pocket watch on the counter. The police found this on a man who tried to sell it on the edge of town. He said, "They told me he stopped here first, and you turned him away." His hands shook as he turned the watch over. "It was my wife's gift," he whispered. "She's gone now. This watch is what I wind when I miss her." He looked at Mr. Reed. "Thank you for not buying trouble." He insisted on paying for a full restoration, spare parts, even a custom case. He left a donation for maintaining the tower, clock enough to carry us through the season. Word spread. People came in with their old friends. A kitchen timer that saw 3 generations of cookies. A mantel clock that had watched over 1,000 dinners. A wristwatch that heard a first yes. We stayed busy, not because we shouted for attention, but because we did quiet things that mattered when it counted. Sometimes I still think about that storm, how the town felt lost in the dark until a steady rhythm brought us back together. I think about the night before, when taking the easy money would have solved our problem for a week and started a bigger one that could have lasted years. Mr. Reed was right. Clocks don't care about applause. They care about being true, and people are a lot like clocks. What we do when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, becomes the beat everyone feels when the lights go out. So here is the moral I learned in a shop full of ticking hearts. Integrity is doing the right thing when it is inconvenient and unseen, and that's exactly when it matters most. Because when the storm hits, character keeps time, and its chime is what guides everyone home.